If you were to star in your own live broadcast, Corey, what would be the first thing that you would say on beautiful Thursday?
Guacamole.
Oh, I love it. I mean,
now why?
Do you guacamole on the brain? I mean,
it's fun to say. Like, it's an objectively entertaining word to say.
Right? Yeah. Should copyright it. Guac my moly. I don't know. It's not really gonna get us.
Guac my moly.
Isn't that what you said? I
said guacamole.
I have my earplugs in. I can't hear.
Guac my moly. I mean, I do like that one better now. So that's fine. Yeah, TC, damn you, sir. He was ranting about this freaking mining network thing for 2 weeks. Finally, I was like, okay, just tell me about it. I was so tired last night. I was like, what do I need to do? Because I unstaked. Did I tell you? I don't think I told this to me. I unstaked my whole ETH wax liquidity position that I've had for a year and a half. Of course, when you do that, you get some wax E that you can convert back into wax and some Ethereum. I did that because I'm buying UpLift DAO tokens, and everyone else should be too if you have any money laying around. In my humble opinion, this is not financial advice. Blah blah caveat. Which I think there's a decent legal argument that you're supposed to say that, but oh my god, we overplayed that shit a little bit. Just assume none of this is financial advice. I'm a fucking guitar player. Anyways, so as I'm wax, kicking around. This is DAO advice. Yes, exactly. This is the way, and the way in Mandarin is DAO, I think, something like that. DAO De Ching, isn't that the whole?
Yeah, DAO De Ching. That's total no.
Yeah, that's the way.
That's DAO.
It's the way.
DAO. I don't even know how to say it.
Maybe if you just keep saying it more and more, it'll just anyway.
Thank you for that. There's like a bunch of them that I get confused, right? But I think it's
I think the DAO literally translates as the way or the path. So
yeah, it does.
Just to save you the trouble.
Yeah. But there's also when I say the I Ching and then
that's the whole. We're not talking about that though because it doesn't rhyme with DAO.
That's a path, Steve. Anyway, DAO, go. Same books, same thing. It's not financial advice either, but like every time I
that's the thing. No, this is where I'm headed with this. Like all of this is actually religious advice, so we can say whatever the fuck we want.
Is that how that works?
Yes.
Awesome.
Also not a lawyer, so
I like it. I mean, religion is good.
It's a fertile playground of the mind. Anyway, so I had some wax. I got into that mining network thing that he's been ranting about, and you look at it, decentralized religion, indeed. You look at the chart on BTK, which is the token on that thing, and it was just going straight up for a minute. I'm like, yeah, guys, come on, like all the warning flares going off, yada yada yada. So I look at it, and it had actually come back down already, and it's pretty close to sort of baselining at like a reasonable arc. I thought, okay, TC, like, just tell me what I need to do. I don't have time. My brain's all fried. Like, I just want to think about something else for a minute. So yeah, just go buy these. And he sends me a link, and it's like, because you can get these miners, and then you can like level them up, blah, 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 blah. It's like the same kind of nonsensical, like, just like really fucking around with tokenomics, right? Like, do this to get that and this. And I kind of want to understand those more anyway. So I get into it, and like, then it's like 11 o'clock at night. And I've been doing nothing else. And I'm in the top 100 on the leaderboard, and I just have a problem. I'm a degenerate. But it's interesting. It started making me think too, like, really grokking that system and how the mechanics work. I love that Sue and Greg are both here. You guys are just awesome family. Anyways, if we understood that arc, Jimmy, we could sort of reverse engineer that whole system, increase uplifting distribution by 10%. And put all of that into the system, which of course, it is actually deflationary on their system as well. Like every 100 days, it drops by 10%, whatever the fuck it is, right? Which got my attention, right? Some people won't care about that, but like anything that we do now is 10% more valuable than it is next quarter. Like that sticks in my brain, right? And I mean, there's things that will affect it far more than that. but like that creates sort of an interesting baseline. Anyway, here I am talking about fucking mining network. UpLift update. There are so many things to talk about.
Well, I mean, but I don't think it's bad that you're talking about that, right? Like, because you're right, there are so many things to talk about, little things, right? Like we've been making progress on a lot of little things, and I'm at the point now again where I can't keep up, and if I can't keep up, then a lot of shit's happening, really. Like, you know, and this is just like the public facing stuff. So like, there's a ton of stuff that's happening. Like the most recent, I think. One that people should probably be the most excited about is last weekend, which seems like forever ago, but it was only last weekend. The DAO tokens were actually distributed to the community, and there's community votes that are happening over on snapshot.org that people have been voting for, weighing in on different things. One in particular that is quite interesting is where the next sharding happens. Is it going to be in, I think the 3 locations were London, Gratitude, and Swineland, and you got to go in there and rank them first, second, and third. Where do you want your shards to be blendable for what world next? So that's exciting, right? People got their DAO tokens. They can vote. They can make proposals. There's some really interesting things that are happening outside the metaverse. Like I just published a post today on the NFT Kids Gallery, which was great. I went in there and snapped some photos. And then I followed a link, from a Twitter feed over to OpenSea. And there was a 3D build
he's selling a 3D object. Right.
Okay, that you could spin around. Like, this is exciting news. Let's dive into this.
It really is. And so Crypto Co is saying, hey, like, I want to hear more about Minecraft build to Unreal 5 ambitions. Like, let me tell you a little story, Jimmy. Let me tell you a little story. I was joking about this on Facebook yesterday. Like, hey, remember that time I was saying, like, hey, we're gonna, like, everybody's gonna build on Minecraft because even 6-year-olds can do it. It's really, really easy, and we know that we can. At some point, we're gonna be able to create object files, 3D object files out of those builds, and then we can upload them into whatever takes 3D object files, right? This was actually before Unreal 5 came out, and everyone's like, yeah, Corey's sorry, whatever, he's saying words, right? He's saying words, and I get that because they were ambitious, and we had no proof. Like we hadn't shown our work yet, and now, and it was because the Voids and looking at I'm in DGen and looking at all the video content that they're creating, which I think is the near term stuff, right? Eventually, we're all going to be these things running around in the metaverse, but before we do that, we're going to show people what that looks like, and so I started talking about it, and Gary, who's on our team, turns around and takes an object file of Uplifter Towers, right, the 2 of them, and puts it in Blender and then puts it in Unreal 5. Okay, that's okay. So we know that is a thing that can happen, right? We suspected it. It seemed fairly obvious, but now we've done it. Fine. But then he goes one step further, and he takes my Void from IMDgen, and he puts it in there. Right. And like it's casting shadows. It's not freaking pasted as a 2D image. Like it's a 3D object within this realm. Very interesting. And then he creates an avatar out of my Minecraft avatar. Right. The thing Greg made for me, the NASA t-shirt and khaki shorts. Like it's, that it's kind of iconic now is really messed up to me, but I'm going to roll with that because this thing is really adorable and puts that in there. Right. And now we're just getting all these pictures and images of our Minecraft avatars, PFP product, and Void, avatars, so any 3D avatar or whatever that can be positioned, in a static version of Unreal 5, based on the builds that came from that. The huddle yesterday, man, Jimmy, like the second half of the huddle yesterday, turns out Flo was actually into 3D rendering and gaming before he was into this. And he's been trying to stay away from it because he gets too obsessed, but now like with the secret weapon we didn't know we had, and of course Gary's really into that too. And so I think as far as ambitions go, I now believe personally that it is inevitable that we're going to have some kind of experience that is frictionless. Anyone will be able to get into this experience that will be based on a build that we all know and love from the UpLift. And you'll be able to take any 3D avatar into that experience and experience. I'm going to stop saying the word experience. You'll be able to basically be in the UpLift without needing Minecraft, right? And my goal for that is the end of this year. And this is the MVP, right? Because then people start figuring out, okay, like, you know, I was talking to Wayne even, you know, about, you know, sequentially creating an entire map and, you know, figuring out how to make that massively multiplayer. There's lots of challenges here, right? But none of them are insurmountable, right? I think that the near-term MVPs that we, Andre Abello and I are actually working on creating profile pages for every single piece of land, right? So if you have the land NFT, it'll automatically grant you ownership of this page. For the first ones, I think it's probably going to cost some uplifting down the road, but like it'll give you ownership. You'll be able to upgrade that NFT, so it gives you ownership of this profile page, and then you'll be able to add videos, pictures, comment section, blah 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 blah. But there will be a download button that allows you to download the 3D object file, right? So now you can take that object file into Spatial, which is what a few people are doing now, and it's amazing. So suddenly there's a frictionless way for people to get into your build from your profile page. That you know, is all connected to the UpLift. That's interesting.
Yeah, and like, so this right here is an Unreal picture of you chasing, I don't know, an Ethereum balloon in Etheria. I think that's how it was put out there. You know, your avatar, and I think it's like super exciting. You know, that's just one kind of thing that is happening. But there's so many different kind of things that the community, I think, is going to be able to plug into, right? One of the people who's working on, you know, breaking these down is the chair of our builder committee, GKid. And he, you know, has been doing some amazing things. Like, I've been getting messages from people that's like, hey, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? And the amount of ones that he's actually done that people don't know about are pretty impressive, right? Oh, yeah. There's some pretty cool ones out there that he's playing around with. But he, you know, he also was in the chat the other day, and he's like, hey guys, look, here is a 12-part 1 minute each video series on how to animate things in Minecraft. He's working on that. There's tons of people working on
wow
this, right?
See, and this is the thing, like, I think content is, and this is one of the things that with the voids they're doing, they're basically bringing their void into VR chat and then making content with it, right? Because, like, you are your avatar in that scenario. You can operate your hands, you can move around or whatever. You can operate your head. Obviously, not your facial expressions because there's no tracking on that. But like, still, it's really well done. So my avatar now is a 3D object, right? Huh? Like, Gary turned that right there. You're looking at it. Gary turned my avatar. Hold on. Gary turned my avatar into a 3D object, right? And I can load that into VR chat, and I can be that in VR chat and make content out of it now.
You said you can't alter the facial inspection?
You can, not when you're in VR and there's a mask on your face. There's no cameras pointed at your face.
I see.
Yeah. I know you can.
Like, I was gonna say, like, you can in Void and you can in Unreal 5 too, right? So
yes, but I'm saying, like, so right, like, to create content in real time, right? Like, to animate these things is a non-trivial problem, right? Like, it's challenging, but in VR chat, you can create content. You can animate your character from within your character with, you know, the hand stuff and the facial, like the head tracking, not facial tracking, the head tracking. Anyway, so yeah, Crypto, thanks, man. Showed the Web3 in your Corey, like you said. We're not stopping here, and we never were, right? Like that, you know, when we're trying to figure out how to save the company, it's hard to be talking about all the stuff that's going on in the future. So there were a few months where, you know, we weren't that excited. We weren't talking about the future because we were basically trying to save the airplane from crashing. We did that pretty much.
Yeah, now, if any of you guys are interested in, you know, creating animated videos, check this link out because it's awesome. And you can,
yeah, I'm gonna have to get that from you because, well, as if I have time, send it to Gary.
No, like, I looked at it today and I'm like, I really want to learn how to do this. But
yeah, it's gonna be really cool, and seriously, like, it's only a matter of time before StreamYard is allowing 3D avatars and has that embedded in this. Like, I guarantee you, it's a matter of months before that happens, right? And I don't know if it's 6 or 18, but it's, you know, it's coming. and it's all going to come really, really fast. And so we're playing for where the puck is going to be in a year, and that's going to be, tons of projects, if not most, starting to move towards this Unreal 5 engine. And I think that I hope this is a total guess, but I hope that the number of projects that will be using that will make the technology more likely that we will be able to seamlessly connect between the two, right? So let's say Block Cities, who's a friend of ours in sort of metaverse space, is using Unreal 5 and we're using Unreal 5, that there could be that much more likelihood that we could create a portal and just walk through a door and just go from one to the other and have that same, kind of experience that we're used to with Minecraft, but be able to literally connect to other projects and other, other networks and other worlds, basically. And I think that gets us one step closer to the Ready Player One experience that I think all want to have, right? Like we want, a network of networks, not, meta.
What interests me is when we get to the point where all of the people on the wax metaverse worlds are like, yeah, we're kind of OG, but then like we get to the point where like all the people on Minecraft are kind of like, yeah, we're OG too, right? Like, do you remember, like, this is a really weird analogy, but do you remember when, this is going to sound really bad, but do you remember when the Italians were black? Like when the Irish were black, like, right? Like if you look at the history of the mob, which is quite fascinating at times, right? And you see what happened in, around New York, and how the kind of crime spree went through that, like things kind of changed over time, right? Like they were outcasts because, they weren't, high British councilmen that were running the new world, right? So that took a really weird turn. I'm sorry about that. So, like,
I'm just gonna let you roll with it. Like, you do you. I'm just gonna go over here and write notes about some stuff I have to do later. You carry on.
No, but like it's really interesting how like we define things as progression happens, right? Like we've come to this point where, now we're starting to explore new worlds, and we're starting to be able to plug, what's in the UpLift metaverse that's built on Minecraft into new worlds. So what happens when those new worlds become the metaverse in itself, as opposed just to a testing ground of what we're we're plugging in, right? And I don't see that being so far from now, right?
Right. Yeah. TC, in a year or less, we'll not be watching Corey and Jimmy on YouTube, but in a virtual studio. I mean, I like that ability to go into a place and do this. I mean, we should have been doing this the whole time, right? And we can do it now. I mean, Greg, if you're still watching, like that was Greg's original idea.
With the underwater thing, right?
Right. And still, if you go to Cathedral 1.0, you can, go just a little off to the side, and he built a studio, right, where like your avatars can't sit, and it's not super comfortable, and it's a little bit weird, but it's very fascinating, right? And it was seeing the future, frankly, for what's coming. And yeah, no, I think that's absolutely going to be taking place, right? And this is where, so I mean, as a thing that we should probably try, frankly, is we could do this in VR chat. We can do it now, right? And if I'm not mistaken, like I know we can bring avatars in there, which is interesting, but like when can we bring an UpLift build to VR chat on Meta, right? And then literally do a show there. Like that could be significantly less than a year before we're testing that kind of thing out, right?
Our Voids doing a Voids doing a show would be super cool.
The difference between my 3D avatar now and Void is nothing. Gary made it. That's a 3D object in exactly the same way the Void is, right? So like I'm a DGen is fantastic. The UpLift could do its own 3D avatar project like soon.
Damn it, that means I got to get a better avatar.
Yes, it does.
I mean, thanks, TC. That's great. Like, I'm really happy if you're still watching me in a year, considering how politically correct I am half of the time.
Wait, did you say you're politically correct?
It was, I was being facetious. It was,
yeah. Sorry, my satire detection thing is English broken.
What? It's all right. I mean, I'm other updates. Jimmy's getting excited. He's moving. He's moving back to Canada, which is gonna be good.
Whoop, whoop.
Which is gonna be interesting because like I'm actually gonna be in the area in the zone that most of you are, and so I'm looking forward to figuring out a way to
zone?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, right. Yeah, totally the time zone. No, I'm in nobody's zone but my own.
Right, I'm gonna be in the zone in the area that all of you are.
I mean, there might be some things in Canada that help put me in the zone or take me right off the map. We're not really sure. Let's figure that out. but yeah, like I'm excited about this because I think Corey and I are gonna probably try to expand this network. You guys are calling it a show. I'm calling it a network. I want this. I want to be like the 6 a.m. morning news that nobody watches, and I want other people on this channel that are really fucking good at what they do, being celebrities and
right.
animators and like building on the game.
We're gonna be
Metaverse.
the least watched show on this network.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah, that's what we're aiming for, realistically. I mean, like Corey and I have kind of already achieved it, with the exception of the UpLifters Tower. I think our lands are probably the least visited in the metaverse, really, because we don't have time to go in there and build cool shit, right?
Yeah, yeah, we get a little bit of traffic on the tower, but
right,
not a ton. Yeah, Steve, I think about this a lot, actually. So it seems like most metaverse lands outside of Uplift are using professional building services that cost a lot of money. The Uplift will appeal to many more people on an individual level. Yeah, I think that's entirely true, right? Because like the general arc and I think it's a little bit different for Roblox. Like there's some places where you can go in and do some things, right? But I don't think anything so easily as you can in Minecraft. Just because it's got such a storied history and such a simple but really effective game mechanic, right? And so we go through this now. Like we're getting 100 projects on Ethereum. We're going to be doing auctions over there. Obviously we've said this a million times, but one reason why one might conceivably want to buy some UpLift DAO tokens if they have any spare Ethereum kicking around is that when those go well, there's a really solid chance we're going to be doing revenue share once we get a little bit of runway under our belt this year, right? And so we've got 100 projects coming in, and those projects, I'd say about half the time are like, hey, you know anyone that could build for us? Just because they don't have time, right? It's not ability; it's time is the limiting factor. And of course, we have a plethora of amazing builders that we can basically tab and go, hey, do you guys want to come in here and do this and maybe make a little bit of money or whatever? Hopefully, right? Some people are volunteering; it's fantastic. But a lot of them are like, hey, can I bring my kids in to come in and build? It's just like, what?
What's interesting though too, like if you look at somebody like Mello, right? Like there are professional services that are building on other metaverses, but if you look at someone like Mello, he has NFTs that like a lot of people build on, right? Like, and so right now, I was whispered in a game today by somebody. He's like, hey, do you need a builder? Like I can build, I can mine, I can do whatever. I'm looking for a job. I was like, oh man, like that's pretty cool, actually. And I'm like, go to the Discord. There's lots of people who are looking for builders in the world. Like, check it out, right? Like, I mean, hit up GKIT if you think you're, worthy. He's looking after kind of the building committee. But like, there's a lot of people out there that you might not know that aren't so social that have been getting really good offers from other people to build stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Like and doing an amazing job, right? And like there's a few people that we featured on the blog and on the website who have builders. Like it's essentially one builder that does all of their builds, right. which is pretty fascinating, right? I mean, I don't know where these people are based or what they do or how they got into it, but I would suspect that some of them are probably making a living off of it. It's my guess.
Indeed. Some are.
Better than solitaire, really.
Steve was saying apparently this project's paying $10K up to build out on NFT World's lands, which is interesting, right? Because on NFT World's lands, like you I think they've got the Bungie server that will attach to all the different worlds if you wanted to. And they just sold like seed lands, which is fucking hilarious to me. Like that. It's, I mean, good on them, but like, wow.
Yeah.
It's really
So like
hold on,
let's
Jimmy.
break that down.
Hold on, Jimmy. Hold on. It's the ability to connect the worlds together, which I think is their secret sauce, and I think that's really cool. But you have to host the servers yourselves, right? So like our biggest cost is hosting the servers every month, and they're like, yeah, you guys host that. And there, I mean, there's like, it's not a dumb thing that they did. I just think there's so many, they are leaning towards the ideologically focused ability to be decentralized. Fine. But I think we're going to have a lot more opportunity because we've networked things so close together, and because we're centralized enough that we're going to be able to do some really amazing things iterating that they're not going to be able to do.
Let's break it down. Basically, what is the seed world? You go in to the platform and you generate something randomly, and that's what plugs out, right? Like, we got Dr. Wayne. Dr. Wayne, he's pretty awesome, right? Like, Dr. Wayne's like, no, this isn't degen. This isn't degen. This isn't degen. This isn't degen. This is degen, right? And like, I did it with Dr. Wayne one time. So when we were looking at, there's actually another seed that we haven't used when we were looking at the art-based server, and I actually wanted something that was very similar to degen, in that it showed those colors and those patterns, of the earth and the terracotta and things like that. And we went through it, I don't know, maybe 50 to 100 different maps until we got to something that took maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Right? Like, just no. And like, maybe what these guys did is they just pulled the first 150 maps, and then they threw those onto Ethereum and said, we're going to sell them for a shit ton of money, which again, is good on them. But like, what happens when the mall gallery gets sold? What happens when the NFT kids gallery gets sold? What happens when this NFT of a whole NFT kids gallery build on Ethereum gets sold? And then we look back at it in like a year's time and say, holy crap, that was undervalued, right? like we have the ability to.
Speaking of undervalued.
What's that?
This is UDT.
There's a lot of people who sold. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people that sold right at the beginning, and like, we knew that was going to happen.
Like, that's, I kind of don't mind it, because that gives more people a chance to get more DAO tokens.
Yep. And that's the thing. Like, we're only going to do one more distribution to DAO token holders, right? And then that's it forever. Like, this year is the only time UDT will ever be distributed. After that, it's all just going to keep getting locked up over and over and over again. Yeah, so we knew that was going to happen. That's like, the pool's not that huge, and we did that on purpose. So it's just the cleaning out process. So
it happens.
Ignore that first line and look at the rest of them.
Right, and it
that's
happens
what it's gonna look
with every single project, and it's not really that bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, get every person that gets DAO token before we do our first revenue share, it's gonna be like, you idiots. But what are you gonna do? Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point is, if we do anything like what we did last year, those DAO tokens are going to get some nice shekels dumped on them. So that's fun. And my goal is to do way better. So what are you going to do?
Really? You want to do better? Like, you just don't want to.
I mean, the thing is, like,
you just don't want to cut rope and run. I mean, I thought.
Wait, aren't we supposed to be all hanging out with all the money we don't have in Italy or something? Is that the latest rumor?
Yeah, I love it. No, it's actually not latest. It's kind of old, but I like making fun of it.
Fair enough.
When people come back and watch this in a year's time, I want it to be a satire. Okay. I mean, like,
so
right. No, I think it's interesting. Are we gonna do a happy hour this week?
Yeah, I feel like we should. I ended up having to.
We accidentally missed it last week, right?
Yeah, I ended up having to kind of emergency drive up to Tampa again Friday night. Really glad we did that whole family tragedy thing. But yeah, I mean, we should absolutely do that. We should invite, you know, a bunch of cool people to come and hang out with us.
I want to do one of the Ethereum worlds, honestly. I don't know whether we do it this week or next week. I think if we're gonna do it though, we should do it later, maybe. But
we can. I mean, like, imagine we can. There's already an amazing cohort of people that we can start pinging and asking if they want to come down. You know, I'm sure Jeff would come and talk to us from NFT the movie, and probably Mike Sparkus, right? Like, we just like go out there and invite everybody over. Heck, we might be able to get someone from IBM to come stop by if we smile pretty enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's something with IBM that we all like. What's the name of there, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, like, so we're in the what can we say, Jimmy? We're
so I got it. So we're part of the New Moon Accelerator.
True.
And the New Moon Accelerator just drafted a partnership with IBM. I just wrote the press release. The press release will be coming out soon. You know, what do they say? You know, a friend of a friend is a friend of yours, right? And so we have friends.
Is that what they say?
we have friends.
A friend of a friend is a friend of your friend.
Yeah.
That
we have friends.
Friend.
We have friends.
Yeah, we have friends. So, and tangentially, we are friends with IBM. No, I had a meeting with them. You know, we're applying to their program. There's, you know, and it'll get announced when it gets announced. But it's looking really good.
But for the 7 you watching, I'm already writing an announcement.
between us and our friends, like, wink. That's funny. They are, no matter what. This is one of my favorite things about how we operate. Jimmy's like they were, you know, we said, listen, like, this, we're giving you guys this land, whether you like it or not, right? And if you tell us to take it down, we will, obviously. But you know, this is yours if you want it. Here's this little banner. Like the lady that's running that program, who's you know, who knows Chan, our friend, really well from Newcoin.
An incredible individual, by the way.
Yeah. We need to try and get her on the show.
Right.
And anyway, so she was really, really excited. She said IBM's going to be really, really excited. I'm like, cool, that's fun. So then, you know, we had our first sort of induction meeting. By the way, Nefty is part of the cohort that could be coming to IBM. So like being able to do that with them, there's very few things that are better than that. Huge fan. Anyway, so the we were having this little meeting, and Chan was like, hey, you know, can you go and kind of show them in world or whatever? So, of course, I boot up Minecraft, and that's when the Minecraft lodger desperately needs to freaking update itself. So that takes 600 hours. Anyways, they're all talking or whatever. We finally got in there, and I showed them, you know, the new NFT the movie build. You know, Mike Spartacus from, Smart Digital Payments was in there and kind of built them like a cool little mountaintop thing. And, you know, Masters of Bitcoin, their build has started, which is really cool, right? So you kind of, from Spawn, you're taking a look at that stuff. It's really cool, blah, 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 right? And then you see the you know, meta art build, and we're flying up towards that hill that's right there. And I kind of just like look down, right, to make sure the picture is going to have a time to. Then I panned up, and there's the IBM, accelerator logo on a billboard or whatever. The dude's face lit up like it was fucking Christmas. It was awesome. Like, I live for those moments, Jimmy. And like, it was the same one we had, you know, when we showed Ian from, you know, NFT.nyc, right? Like, the people seeing this stuff in our worlds and the way that it comes together, and like watching them just light up, and like, oh yes, I feel the same way, right? It just feels super validating. Like, all the shit we've been taking over the past year, people get it. And it's not simple. And if you want something that's like magically just gonna like print money for you, just go find a money printer. This is not what this is, right? We're actually going to build a metaverse that's going to be here for decades, and it's going to move into the technologies that are coming. And it works right now.
So I think you're planning on going to NYC, right?
So Jeff just told me if there's another cancellation, which he said is really likely, I might be speaking at NFT NYC.
That's funny. You know what's going to be really funny is if you meet our good friend Sean Ballant in New York,
instead of Miami.
Instead of Miami. Because I think he's going there as well. I want to go, but I'm not going to be back in time. I don't think. I won't get back until August.
Yeah.
But I don't think America's prepared for the.
Hey.
I don't think America is prepared for the return of Jimmy, because what you guys don't know is that there's a very good chance that Jimmy might be live streaming on this channel from people's backyards, which is going to be really bizarre. You think the Uplift tour bus is badass until Jimmy starts, walking behind the camera.
Right. Shout out to Tars from ApeSwap. Hey, we'd love to join you for a happy hour sometime. A, we're gonna do a happy hour this Friday now, and B, I think I should put up some billboards. I know Jen and Julian are booked for a session for next week. Since you guys are going to, I think it's Consensus. You guys are headed to. But yeah, we can get some billboards up on your land. I've got it picked out. It's in a place of immense honor, basically right kitty corner from NFT the movie, right away from Spawn. But we could
happy hour. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, let's maybe do happy hour. And Tars, by the way, check our Telegram group, because I just sent you an invite link to come say hi here. So for anyone who doesn't know, Tars is one of the badasses from ApeSwap. ApeSwap is if you guys don't know, is a massive DeFi protocol, and they do just really, really amazing things. They've got a pretty decent exposure on Ethereum, but most of the stuff that they're doing is on Binance Smart Chain. They've got like a couple hundred products that are attached to what they're doing there. When we go to Binance Smart Chain, I think it's very, very likely that we will actually do it together between the UpLift and ApeSwap, just because we could do it a lot faster. And that just is, kind of always sinks to us. Anyway, I just both, I've had chats with Julian first from ApeSwap, and then Tars. And what I like most, Jimmy, is that just our energy, hey, let's go together, right? Let's bring as many people as humanly possible. Let's have a blast, right? And some projects are oh, it's crypto winter, and that I think is where Julian and I really clicked. Yeah, it's crypto winter. So why don't we show people that you can build like crazy, ignoring that crypto winter is even a thing?
Hey, wait a minute. I'm confused, because in crypto winter, that's when you and I build shit. So why is that a bad thing?
No, that's what I'm saying, right?
Why is that a bad thing? That's how we found basically the whole team who came 100%. And built shit that we can't build, right?
Yeah. This is where this is we've got practice. Jimmy and I've been joking about this and kind of laughing about it behind the scenes for a couple weeks now, right? It's both of us are why are we having so much fun? For me, it's you give me an existential challenge. And when we first started, I bought the company, hey, we're going to turn it into a DAO, blah, blah, blah. Those first 2 days, I'll tell you guys right now, I was shitting toasters. Fully operational toasters were coming out of my butt. I was stressed out. And finally, Tuttle, sat me down and said, listen, you're either going to do this or we're going to fail. So which one is it? And I was like, shit, fuck, damn. And I got to work, right? Because the second you just, okay, well, I can cry about it or I can do something, right? Do one thing. It's actually a note in my office that I freaking have a sticky note in 2 different places. Do one thing. So all this is pretty overwhelming. And the first thing I did is what's the thing that worked best for us? Getting 50 products into Genesis. We sold out in 7 minutes. Cool. Let's get 100, right? Which is absurd. We don't have time for that. And yet we're absolutely going to hit that number. We totally are, which is nuts. And exciting, but mostly nuts.
We could have been at that. We could have been at that number already, but I'm kind of you're not big.
No. If we made it up, right? Our basic rules, you need to have be a project that has good exposure to Ethereum. The whole idea is these 100 projects are going to be our footprint, our initial footprint in Ethereum space. And we want to make a splash, frankly, right? And create a network that's going to be valuable to be in. I get excited about that. And I think projects do as well, right? It's go ahead.
Well, no, Corey and I are working on our own NFT line, and part of the reason is we kind of want an embassy in Ethereum, but we don't get to have one because we're not on Ethereum. Our show NFT line, we're not good enough to have an embassy on Ethereum, right? Even us, we're not good enough, right? So I mean, I'm kind of excited to see, right? We've got some ballers in there, man. We've got smart digital payments, we've got ApeSwap, we've got NFT the movie, and there's tons of people that are in there. amazing projects. And so if you guys know amazing projects, hit us up, because we want projects that have communities of value.
Yeah.
Essentially, like, I mean, if you don't have a community, then there's no point for you to be in the metaverse. And there's no point for you to be in a metaverse that has no community. And that's what the UpLift has over every other freaking metaverse, in my opinion. Both of those things, right?
like that was a little bit of a Gordian knot.
Oh,
It's like, if you don't have a chicken, you won't get an egg. And if you don't have an egg, then you can't get a chicken.
No, but it's not. Like, we see this all the time. There's plenty of metaverses out there that do like one-off, 1 month events, and they're empty the rest of the time, right? Like,
I know at least
like,
one metaverse.
Basically like Olympic stadiums that don't have a professional team. They get used once and they never get used again.
It's not, like even our servers are not like teaming constantly yet, right? There's a lot of builders in there or whatever, which is fine. But yeah, most we're doing really well, frankly, compared to metaverses that are dollar-wise 100 times bigger than we are or more.
Our biggest problem is that people don't go and check out other people's land. They just build cool shit, right?
Yeah.
That's like, but like,
this
fair, right? Like when we get to the point where we throw out passports and we throw out events, and like we get to the point where, we have, because I think that, like, honestly, I think that we'll get to the point where the events committee is 24 hours nonstop grinding to like bring in cool stuff every day, right? Like we've got Mitzi. Shout out to Mitzi. I mean, she's been doing a wonderful job heading up the events committee. If you don't know who Mitzi is, I know she does her hotel quests and things like that. But like, there's already talk in the background about like, weekly PvP events, like, open server events, galleries.
Jimmy. Sorry for interrupting you. Jimmy. PvP. You know what Unreal 5 can do? Like slicker than snot on a hot pan? What?
Interrupt me anytime with it.
I don't know where that phrase came from. But, and
sneezing while making breakfast will make you do weird things. So, no, what can Unreal 5 do with PvP? This is exciting.
There's going to come a moment where I believe, say, we're on the profile page for the UpLifters Tower land, right? Or even my Gratitude Farm Estate. Fine, right? So we're on there, and I download the 3D object, right? And there's a button on my land profile page that says upgrade this to PvP in Unreal 5. And suddenly the PvP event, it's not Minecraft where Leon is setting me on fire, that little crap head. Am I never going to let this go? Correct. I never will. But like creating a first-person shooter game in Unreal 5, it's just, you basically click a button. It's not that simple. But like, it's like there's cookie cutter ways to get that done, right? So builds that are in the UpLift will be part of really high-end first-person shooter games very soon. So
I can just see Leon walking in there,
with a flamethrower, like day one,
with a gun in his hand, saying, "Say hello to my little friends."
And suddenly I'm on fire. Oh shit!
Right. Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, yeah, I'm excited, and this has been a week since we've kind of figured this out. Not even.
Yeah, like since we really started playing with it, and really for me, like, I knew it was going to be possible, but actually seeing it, and thank you, to Sebastian, Digital Asset on Wax, and does work with I'm a DGen and the Voids, because that that 3D object, that's what just like forced me to start thinking about over and over and over again, and then talking about it, and then Gary was like, yeah, hold my beer, and seeing it, just that really crystallized everything in my head. And then, it's an interesting story that we can tell, because I think, like, from a technology point of view, we now see the path relatively clearly, and things can always take a lot longer than you think, and there might be constraints that we don't see yet, blah 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 blah, all surmountable. It's going to take some time, right? But I thought it was going to take 5 years for us to start bootstrapping stuff into Unreal 5, and now and it still might, right? Because we don't know what we don't know, but I think it's actually going to be a lot sooner.
Well, what's that big sign outside UpLifters Tower? We haven't done any gratitudes, by the way.
We can do that.
Something like community as power.
It is.
I mean, we're at DAO now, and some of the people that I used to talk to all the time, I don't talk to anymore. And the reason is they're busy building shit in the Uplift world, right? Like not just building a build, right? Like they're busy creating value for the whole ecosystem. Pay attention to these people. They're not messing around.
Yeah. I'm here, I'll pull a game up here. I'm starting to get really excited about the fact that, like, even in our team chat, because we've got all the committee chairs and stuff coming in there, I could barely keep up to the core team.
Right.
I can't. And now it's like straight up, I can't keep up.
Right.
Just to the team, to all of you crazy, you know, I just can't keep up. So I'm just gonna stay in my lane and do what I'm relatively good at.
TC's high. Yeah, thank you. I am too. TC, I'm gonna come meet you sometime very soon. You and I are gonna have a hug and a drink.
I want to go to there.
And
dude, I am gonna come to Ontario.
And a smoke, right? Well, I mean, if you're really pissed about it, just go to Detroit and I'll cross from Windsor.
No, I don't like Detroit any more than Ontario.
Neither do I. I'm not a big fan of Detroit.
Yeah, no,
but Crypto Blood is there, and I kind of want to hang out.
Okay, all right, that's good. So I could fly into Detroit.
Right. Yeah. Like Southwestern Ontario is going to be maddening. It's funny. It's funny because I was talking to my parents. Right. Like they bought an old schoolhouse. If you don't know what a schoolhouse is, back in the day, like, you know, before they had buses and shit, in the countryside in Canada, like every, you know, 4 to 8 blocks, which are huge, they used to have these old schoolhouses, which were basically one-room schoolhouses that, like, you know, first graders would sit in one row, second graders in another, third graders in another. They probably still have them in the Yukon. Sorry, man. I've never thrown the Yukon under the bus, but I kind of felt the urge to. But they bought, like, it's got a 14-foot ceiling, you know, in the main room. It kind of looks like a weird kind of church. My parents were telling me, they're like, you can just, like, basically we use 2 rooms in the house. It's way too big. Like, all the kids left. Like, we don't have anything to do. Kind of sad. And it's like, just take whatever room you want. So, like, we can freaking fill the garage with water and build our own underwater studio, Corey. Like, that's going to be really fun. I can't. Yeah. I don't even know if I can comprehend this now, because I'm not really sure whether this is Minecraft or something else.
The answer is yes.
I'm grateful for I don't like doing this because I don't want to exclude anyone, but I'm gonna do it. I usually do it in the Tuttle Huddles, but today I'm grateful for Corey Chan, Trang, and Tuttle, because you guys are awesome. And he concurs.
Yeah. Come here. Yeah. And like anybody drives by, and like we're gonna get murdered. Rhodey's pretty sure we're all gonna die. Anyways, for that, gonna get TCs. There's a bunch of people here. I would love to see gratitude from everybody. I want to get everybody up on the wall. Please keep it short. Tell us what you're grateful for. The practice is important.
Dude, this so has to be the name of your ship.
What?
The most valuable of ships is friendships.
So, you know, especially for our conversation with Chase, if you missed that one, by the way, the conversation we just had with Chase from Austin's team, part of our, business coach staff for the Uplift, staff team, whatever, came on. He's a really cool dude. So, you know, we got into some really, really deep waters. And, you know, he started talking about quantum physics in a way that was a little bit like the woo, which always like triggers me. Right. So we have a fun conversation about that. But I should tell you, Jimmy, that we've already decided what the name of our boat is going to be. And it is the woo.
I like it. Nice.
Yeah.
If you missed it, go check it out. It was one of the best. Put it in the comments. It was one of the best received episodes that we've ever done. I got weird random emails or messages from people that was just like that. That was flipping brilliant. Like, really.
Awesome. It was good stuff. Howie, man, look at all of our peoples are here. What?
All right.
Learn how to spell again. Thank you, Howie.
Actually, I want one more too. I'm grateful for all of our peoples. That's a good one.
Some sauce. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Muy appreciated. Oh, I didn't do one yet. To do.
So also, just to shout this out, I'm gonna do another. I do this show with Sean over on the Crypto Writer Network called The Edge of Obscurity, which is even more random than this, if you can believe it. But tomorrow, we're gonna have One Planet on One Planet. If you remember, they were a project, or kind of helped the project, friends of ours, CypherDub. We had an episode a few months back about Cypher Wars. Some amazing, artwork and a story NFT line that wanted to do packs over on Terra. And when Terra imploded, they decided to follow One Planet over to Polygon, which is really quite interesting. What did you say? 50 projects and it might be a world. Like, come show your support, right? Like Polygon's rocking, right? Like all of these blockchains are rocking, and we want to expand. As a DAO, I think we want to expand to as many different platforms as possible.
Stated goal. I want us to be on 5 different blockchains by the end of the year, and I think we can do it, right? Polygon, to your point, there's a ton of products on Polygon, and I think we network into a few. It means we can network into 50. If we can network into 50, we do a map, right? And obviously, I'm excited that Chris is here, just because like the subtext of everything that I say should be pending DAO vote and approval.
So much more important than this is not financial advice. Pending DAO approval, right?
Yes. Seriously, like I could say, hey, I'm having this for breakfast, and just hear it in your head, pending DAO approval. But yeah, I think the arguments for these are I think easily made. Especially again, like if we have, and this is what I told Jimmy, like how soon can we go to Polygon? Go get us a list of 50 projects that want to go right now, right? That would force us to, I think move very, very aggressively. And there's no reason why we wouldn't start that list, right? Like that to me, like this is the especially because I'm talking to all these projects, right? And we're talking to like most of the projects that we're talking to are really, really excited. I think they're really, really excited to be around other projects that are building through this kind of downturn in the market or whatever, right? So there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of like, hey, a Metaverse project where people are getting really, really excited. That like ground floor, frankly, right? Like we're not already like a $3 billion behemoth. And so that creates a lot of energy for those projects. But at the end of the day, grinding on this creates a shit ton of energy for us. Like we are easily going to 10x the number of people that are in our ecosystem this year. Like I don't even feel like ordinarily I'd feel a little bit uncomfortable setting an idiotic goal like that, but like I think it's going to happen. And it's just a matter of doing the kinds of things that I've been doing already, that Jen started doing, that Jimmy's doing, inviting a few people or whatever. And again, like when people say, hey, why aren't you guys getting on Polygon or Solana or whatever? Dude, start the list. And if you haven't started the list, you're not that serious about it, right? Like we're out here grinding our faces off every day, most of the day. I get tired enough every day that I literally want to start crying at the end of the night. And then TC is like, hey, why don't you get into mining network? And I was weak, and I just had some wax. Fuck.
Well, I think it's really something that people need to think about. Right? This is creating worlds with intention. Anyone who thinks differently, revisit this. 50 projects that have embassies in a world on a new chain, or it doesn't happen. Even if Jimmy wants it, even if Corey wants it, it doesn't happen, right? Because this is for whatever the arbitrary line that we felt was achievable, that still gives us enough projects in there, to pull weight to that new project. Now, why? Well, why would we release a world that no projects are interested in being part of? It just doesn't make any sense. Right?
Yeah, and we could just randomly generate seeds and go, hey, buy this for 10 ETH, but no.
I mean, that would be an
it'd be all right
experiment.
I guess that's sort of the thing. I don't feel like I could, in good conscience, sell that because I know that what we're doing is better. I suppose I believe it, right? You can make an argument to the contrary that would be rational, but I believe that the way that we're doing it is better.
The people will find out, and I think a lot of people already know. There's a lot of scams in the crypto space. There's a lot of slow rug pulls, and people will get it, right? I mean, that's not what we're here for. We're not here to. We don't do it maybe enough, honestly, Corey. We don't call people out on their shit because we're too busy trying to build things of value. I
don't ever want to get into that, right? It's look at the energy that the wax scam thing. You could make a rational argument that was a good idea, but that guy's basically just pissing on projects, right? Every once in a while, that person will get it right because it's not like there isn't scams on wax, right? There probably is, but the second you get into that, look at the energy that brings in. Just look at the comment thread. It just gets more toxic and more stupid constantly. Nothing is served from going out and picking out the faults of everybody else, even because I want to give people the grace to fail, right? We're in startup country. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. But if you fail here, your whole community, not whole community, a tiny but loud sliver of your community will go batshit and start screaming scam and rug pull. And then, projects that could have been really, really good, or founders that could have been really, really good, teams that could have been really, really good, get scared out of the space, right? So for me, again, if you're not failing a lot, you're not trying hard enough, right? And as far as I'm concerned, I just want to be on the side that just gives grace to projects. And that might mean that I'm skipping, calling out projects that are clear scams, but that's not my job, and I don't want that job.
I'm going to do it eventually for one project. But not today.
Oh, well, okay. there's a notable exception where we have a mountain of first person but
not today. It's fun to sit on the sidelines and watch promises of decentralization. It's fun to sit on the sidelines and watch promises of what comes next and moving chains and DAOs. And so here's the thing. We're a DAO right now. We have people in our community who own tokens, which means that they have votes and can go in right now to snapshot.org and give their say, right? And this is really important to me because once you have a community that can give their say, you have a community that is participatory in what you're building and you can listen to them. And there'll become a point where we'll have kind of no choice to listen to them potentially. Right? But I went in the other day and I was super excited to vote for where the next shards thing comes, and I went in and I voted because I'm no, gratitude is number 3. I need more time and gratitude to build Skyrail, right? But that doesn't mean I'm right? There's lots of other people who are voting different things, right? And the other part of my vote is we need to jumpstart London. Right, London is kind of they were one of the stronghold servers in the early days. So that was why I voted the way that I did. I could have voted anyway. I could have picked one of the 3 anyway. I could have not have voted. I could have abstained. But I want to see sharding go ballistic. Honestly, like
so, and this is the thing, like what I'd love to see. I can't wait for somebody to start making proposals, like partner proposals for another project that wants to come in and use shards as part of their blend. Right. What do you need from us? Let's rock and roll. Right. Or like, you know, games that start including shards, or even just us. Like what, like, so, and Nefty has the token blend now, right? So we could do lithium plus you know, shard NFT to get something, right? Sharding party. Yeah, shard is such a good word until it's not. Anyway, you know what I mean? Like those shards, I think, you know, we're using them to blend to get land, which is a 100 times more fun than just giving away land ever was, right? It was a really, really awesome invention by the team. And yeah, I think we've barely seen the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to be able to do with those NFTs, for real.
You know what I love about what Nefty did? Like, basically, the only problem that we have, you and I, or the UpLift has, is we need DAO approval to be able to do anything with shards. But we can use anyone else's token we want because, like, Nefty enabled it, right? Like, it's pretty amazing, right? Is your dog a bull? Did I misinterpret this? You're waving a red flag in the background.
No, here, hold on.
Oh,
None. So Brian, have you ever heard of cute aggression?
Cute aggression.
Yeah, like if you ever see like a cute puppy and you just want to squeeze its face.
Brian.
So this is Brian. Brian was just laying and he looked at me and so I threw my shirt at his head. Because I'm kind of a dick. Brian. Brian, you're not even looking at me, Brian. There you go. Hello. All right, carry on. Anyway, it's Brian and Rody.
So let's go over quickly what's up and coming. We have some interesting things on the mix for next week. We've got Huddle, or Sports Rewinds, next Monday, coming up at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've got Crypto CPA, who are trying to help individuals invest as well as Web3 businesses in accounting and tax. On the bill for Tuesday. On Wednesday, yeah, that's Bet. Yeah,
that's our account.
That's our account. Nice.
Yep. Yeah,
we've got
they're amazing.
Yoshi back again on Wednesday.
Awesome.
Sorry, actually, I misspoke. We don't have Hudo on. Hudo rescheduled. That's 2 weeks from now. So.
Okay.
But yeah, if you guys know any good Ethereum projects, TC's been great for hooking us up with a couple, but we've got a few left that we love to have on the show and potentially entertain. Giving them an embassy or a gallery or whatnot in Ethereum or Deacon 1.
Deacon 1.
That really annoys you, right?
It did.
Right? Like, so Sean keeps calling it Deacon, and I'm like, you can't call it Deacon. There's something wrong with that, right? And so
it's Degen. Like, it's a cultural thing.
Degen, right? Yeah, he's messing it up.
How dare he? I mean, that's his sense of humor. He'll trigger us. It's a little shit,
right?
And more power to him. It'll work.
How many embassies do we have right now? Do you know?
I think they're coming in so fast, and I have been focused on just making sure that they actually get introduced to what we're doing. Like Jen has been doing a lot of work on this, and getting introduced to more of them. And now we're like, I don't honestly know. I know it's not 100 yet, but I couldn't tell you if it was 40 or 60 because I haven't taken the time to count. One of these days, I'm going to have to do that. But yeah, we've got it all in a sheet. And interestingly enough, right? Because like these projects don't know what they don't know. So I think there's a fair amount of room. Like anybody with the teams that have exposure to Minecraft and who understand what we've done with the uplifting economy in the survival worlds are leaning towards Degen. I mean, like even just seeing Degen, if you haven't seen the map yet, go there and wander around because wow. Like it just,
I think maybe we need to do that on Monday. Maybe that's for Monday morning chill. Maybe we do that. Maybe we just go into spawn and Degen and we just walk around.
Yeah. TCY stop at 100. I mean, if it comes in at 105, I'm not gonna say no.
Well, this is my problem with this. Is like, Corey, he's kind of turned on, but sometimes he's not. So probably what's going to end up happening is we're going to have like 100 for each map instead of 50 for each, and we're going to have to end up launching 2 worlds. I don't know.
I mean, no, there's been plans already to do, like, we're doing map-based auctions this time, right? We might just do like a regular random mint for another couple, and have projects be the whitelist capacity, right? So like we take a bunch of blue chip PFP projects, for example, and say you need to own one of these things to get one of these things or whatever, right? Fine. So that I think is really interesting, and there's a ton of stuff we can do on Ethereum, right? Like these first 2 worlds on Ethereum, are obviously our major footprint, right? And we're sort of, I think, depending on where the heat is, right? Because we're building up some runway, obviously. But then I think, like, the proposals that come by and sort of choosing where we focus and what we do next, like the goal for me anyway, like I want us to get to the point where we have, enough runway that it triggers revenue sharing, and we've talked about it. Anyway, so like I want to get to revenue sharing really, really quickly, because once we do that first revenue share, the UDT token is going to take off. In my humble opinion, not financial advice, fucking blah, 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 blah. So make a world map NFT. This actually goes into something we've been talking about doing for a while, right? Like 5 billion upliftium, rock and roll, get it done. And I have wondered why we don't just do that and put it up for sale on NFT for, trade it in for, I don't know, 10,000 upliftium NFTs.
Time lapse world server NFTs where you can upgrade them every month for upliftium. So that you can be current. If you don't have the current, then
you know what he means by a world.
One of the cool kids, right?
You know what he means by a world map NFT, selling a whole world at once.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But that's just a seed world, and we don't do that.
But we could, and there'd be demand. And what if we only sold them for upliftium? So suddenly everybody's trying to save to get to the point where they have billions in upliftium. Like that's something we could do tomorrow.
We could.
Yeah. And then just hand them 1,000 NFTs. You're welcome.
I mean, well, there is a process in our white paper actually that looks at how to spin up your own sponsored world on a different blockchain, which is really quite interesting.
Well, it's a different. Yeah, Chris is talking about world DAOs. I mean, this is we've been talking about this for a long time, right? I get to the point where I'm like, the what is actually stopping us, pending DAO approval, common, right? But what's actually stopping us from saying, okay, like we want to test this out. Here's the map on Wax, right? Here's the map, and we're gonna sell it for 5 billion upliftium. That's it. That's the whole story, right? Should wait till we have management infrastructure, in my opinion. I don't know what that means, but like again, like we're talking world DAO, none of that is necessary to do this. It's just NFTs, right? And this is like now you guys are gonna see, like Chris and I have these conversations all the time. And for the record, she's probably right. But just to play it out, there is nothing stopping us from dramatically improving an already stable upliftium economy by basically hodl-gating a world, right? And so there's a small map because that's all we do anymore, right? Yeah, and they could pick, right, Chris? So we put a map up there, and whoever gets it, they decide if it's creative or survival. We don't care, right? And boom.
And if it's creative, they're already plugged into our servers. And if it's survival, and they decide that they're not going to play by the survival rules that have been set up for the connected servers, then they're out of the collective economy, right?
Like say if they were like, oh, I really want to make a hardcore psycho survival one or whatever, just go with God, have fun.
Just can't offer custom rules or anything.
That exactly 100%.
Not the world, and
right. So there's going to be, and this is where like down the road, and tell me if I'm wrong. What Jimmy said is what we can't do now, right? So that as far as like having those the different specific rules around that. It's either, so basically what we would be saying, Chris, is it's either survival or creative, because I think that's a pretty safe thing that we could just allow people to choose. And yeah, projects might want their own map, yada yada yada. And this is the thing, like I would be fascinated to see what would happen to the Upliftium economy if we just announced that. And really, like, what happens if we, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just TC, meet me off camera after this. Let's write up a little sexy proposal and just fucking propose it to the DAO. We don't even have to ask. We don't even have to ask Chris. And I won't vote for it. I probably won't vote. I might not vote. I'm probably going to vote for it. With portals to every world. Yeah, we could. Yeah, sure. We could do a portal hub in there. Don't threaten me with a good time. Or they could buy it. They're like, maybe with that. Yeah, we should. Yeah, I'm finding myself already breaking my simple rule.
No, like what
5 billion or 6 billion, and you get portals everywhere. Although it wouldn't have to be that. It'd be like
what I'm most excited about, honestly, is to see what people throw up in the proposals and to see what worlds come out of it. I think that's what's the most exciting thing, really.
I seriously because I've been meaning to kind of like test out writing a proposal anyway. So if I'm not mistaken, Chris, and we should just have Chris on for these things, for crying out loud. Like anytime you're available, Tuttle, you should just join us so that you can smarten the place up.
Maybe you can just give her the login link so she can join whenever she wants.
Yeah, I think we need to upgrade again, because I think we only had like 3 seats, and that's like not enough. We'll just get it 7 or whatever.
No, but there's a way we can work around.
Anyway, yeah, I think like I wanted to follow through, because I think there's like a system. And maybe we need there probably is one already, like a 1-pager that I just haven't read yet on sort of like, hey, you want to do a DAO proposal? Like, we highly recommend doing this. You don't have to do anything, right? But if you want to get it sort of like this is a sort of suggested path or whatever, right? I think there's like we could do a write up and kind of send it into a channel for sort of review, like and get some kind of question and answer. It's like, give you an opportunity to flesh it out before you put it on chain, basically, is how I think that it goes. And of course, I will be corrected if I'm wrong. But I want to run myself through that process. And this feels like such a simple thing to do as an idea to then turn around and potentially see a dramatic result. Yeah, the pre and final proposal system is up there. Awesome, cool. I'll go take a look at that stuff.
I think there was some interesting discussions in our kind of team channels, like pre-DAO team channels, that we're talking about proposals, and I think eventually we're going to have to get to a point where we can educate people on how to go through the process of putting proposals up, or getting to the point where they can discuss proposals with community and stuff like this. Because I think with a lot of people, this whole DAO thing and structure is going to be quite new. So I'm kind of excited to explore this. Right. Yeah. So exactly what I was saying, right?
Yeah, and so this is the thing: build a city project, world of builders included. This is why I think this is such an interesting, simple hack. Lots of people have come to us asking to do that. Great, right? We are not focused on that right now, right? We've got a fairly big fish to fry. What we can do very easily is mint another 1,000 NFTs on a 1 kilometer world. Right, like the amount of Wayne time that will take is fairly inconsequential. He's a very, very busy dude and super smart, but still, it's not insane, right? It's not like a dev lift per se, right? It's something we've done before and is fairly streamlined. And 5 billion Upliftium is a non-trivial amount. Like that's going to take time, and that's the thing. Like I don't want this to be easy. I want this to be very hard. But it'd be really cool. And then whoever wants to, whatever you want to do with that after you do it, get it done. And then there's going to be competition. Like, it's not going to be one person trying to go for 5 billion. It's going to be a lot of people. That's fun. So,
okay, this isn't a thing, and we're just going to pretend that I don't see it. But what happens if after Ethereum we auction off the next world to the highest bidding chain? I'm just
no. Because we don't know if there's going to be enough buyers to make it work.
No, there's not going to be. But like, there's a lot of really interesting ideas, I think, that are going to come out of how conversations with the community go forward to, I mean, you think we can't keep up now. Wait till all the brilliant people that are in our community start having ideas that they want to implement, and some of them are good. Right? Like, what happens then?
Okay, this has broke my brain. So it would suggest that 5 billion counts for DAO tokens. So it would have to be before the next DAO token drop, which is nuts. But are we even going to release enough? Like, how many? Is it like a quarter? Is it a quarter billion a week or a month right now that we're releasing, Chris? On the, like, how much Upliftium is going out there, and would there be time for one person to effectively like buy half of it or all of it? Like, is there enough for that? Because that would.
Why does it have to be one person? It could be a community of people.
Sure, right? But like one group, right? Because if there's one group, you can bet your bottom dollar there's going to be another group, and now there's two groups fighting, which is exactly what we want. Like, we want, 10 people or projects, groups, whatever, vying for this, and like there isn't enough. So 290 million a week in miners and 295 in active work. Okay, cool. All right, so basically, like say like a half billion a week. So you're looking. No, that probably works. Right, so we're looking at 2.5, just paper napkin math, 2.5 billion a month. So even with a bunch of people trying, also something like 10 or 15 billion outstanding. All right, so there's a lot out there, so people could start buying that up, and obviously that would yeah. Let's just make that proposal, shall we? And TC, I don't know if you're taking notes on this proposal that I've drafted you into writing with me, but we should write down all these numbers because that's really interesting. And yeah, if we then say also like, hey, all of these tokens, once you use them, if you can get this before we do the DAO token drop, that 5 billion will get counted towards DAO tokens, which will mean like that'll be a significant number of DAO tokens.
PC has the numbers. I just sent them to him.
Awesome. So now I'm wondering, like, am I just raking it in, selling Upliftium, or am I trying to do this myself?
There's a couple things that I'm not allowed to say, or I'm going to get yelled at again. But yeah, there's a couple ways around this as well. But,
what are you talking about?
I'll tell you off air.
Just what?
Because I'm sometimes confused, like I don't know what I said that was wrong, but apparently we can't do it.
No, I could tell you. I could tell you. No, like the what she's talking about, and this is why she was talking about the world DAO infrastructure, right? So that world DAOs are going to be able to make calls on their own around the survival rules and around different very specific things like that, right? And it will dictate whether or not they're part of this cluster or potentially.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said, right? Like,
so they cannot do that. They can't do that.
They can't
because
do that.
But that infrastructure will not exist. So for the point of this little exercise we're having here, whoever buys that $5 billion world will not have that ability to get super granular about those choices yet, right? Because I think we're going to be able to slap world DAO infrastructure on existing maps down the road or whatever, right? So that's what you were saying.
I'm still confused.
Okay, well,
we have a survival world cluster that looks at the economy, right?
Yeah.
And
so the only thing they're going to be able to choose, this is what I would put in our proposal, is whether it's creative or survival. That's it. Otherwise, so they're going to have the same rule set as the average.
I see what you're saying. So if they met the criteria, I think maybe I understand. So if they met the criteria for what is the survival world, then through the DAO structure, they could potentially propose to become part of that survival cluster.
No, they don't have a choice right now. Like doing this, they're either part of the survival cluster with all those rules, or they are part of creative, and that's it. Those are your two options, period. Right?
I see.
Right. What Telos saying is when they have the world DAO infrastructure that she has in her head, and it is very expensive and fantastic and is awesome, right?
Right.
Will allow the world DAOs to vote on changing their own rules, right? And then they'll be able to do different things with it. That's down the road when that infrastructure exists. We can't do it right now.
I understand. Yeah, and so this is a really interesting point as well, right? Like, because some of the survival clusters
that's fair.
Are a little bit more difficult, right? Like
right.
Things like that. I get it. Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna have to write that stuff down too, because we want to we'll want that in the proposal. Can you imagine if this show just comes like, hey, because like we used to do this in the huddle all the time, like just come up with ridiculous ideas and then start fleshing them out. I do not hate doing that on the show. Like that's kind of fun.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's better when Chris is in the comments because she.
It is.
You know,
better if she's just here. But I'll take what I can get.
I gotta go. I'm gonna go and do another show. We'll be back. Well, at the very least, we'll be back tomorrow. No, 2 days from now. 3 days from now for you. 2 days from now for me. For a happy hour on Friday evening. Definitely plug yourselves into our Discord and look for the time and the location, because we're not 100% on that. We have some ideas, and also when you go to happy hours, like take pictures and send them to me so we can get them up on the article site, which is going to be really fun.
Just in the interest of full disclosure, I've been buying UpLiftium a lot. I'm just gonna go in and buy a little bit more.
Yeah, this is a really good point, actually. We did only make the first part, and we never got to the second part, and we probably do need to come back and visit that. So
we really, and by the way, there is the Wax Liftium pool is getting rewards on BluDAC right now. We should deepen that up a little bit. It's not very deep at the moment. But it's doing all right, I suppose.
Homework. That's the homework, ladies and gentlemen. Go deep in the pools, deep in the DAO pools, deep in the BluDAC pools, deepen the pools and the uplift, and create the deepest pool that you've ever seen, because we're here for the long haul. And hold your breath, because things are going to be pretty freaking impressive.